Strong relationships are the foundation of success and well-being, personally, professionally, and emotionally. No matter if you're leading a team, raising a family, or simply navigating daily life. Ever wondered why some relationships thrive while others crumble? The secret isn't just love, communication, or compatibility. It's trust. And today I will show you exactly how to build it, step by step, so your relationships can be stronger, deeper, and more impactful. Hello, my name is Linda Milun. I'm a self-leadership and leadership coach accredited by the International Coaching Federation. Meaningful interpersonal connections give us the support, trust, and resilience we all need to thrive. A study by Paul J. Zak found that in teams where trust was high, productivity increased by 50% and stress dropped by 74%. In relationships, couples who reported high trust experienced less conflict and more emotional intimacy. Many researchers show that trust plays a big role in relationship success and satisfaction. But even without research, common sense tells us exactly that. You need trust for functioning relationships. You probably have seen it around you that the best functioning companies, families, and couples are those where healthy trust exists. When trust is high, people feel safe to be real. What happens if there is no trust or a lack of trust in interpersonal relationships? No matter if personally or professionally, as trust is a major part in the foundation of every meaningful connection, whether it's your partner, your friend, or your coworker. In the previous video about communication, I mentioned the importance of rapport and how a lack of it causes a lot of trouble. Without it, communication breaks down, conflicts escalate, and intimacy disappears. Symptoms can be, for example, misunderstandings, micromanaging, unnecessary arguments, gossiping, lying, lack of teamwork, and the list goes on. But that all leads us to the question, how can we avoid or prevent it from happening? Today, I have 5 tips for you that can make a big difference. It will help the people in your environment to be more willing to rely on you, cooperate well with you, share with you about themselves, let you closer, be more effective with you and your team, and much more. Overall, you will be more likable, efficient, trustworthy, impactful, and so forth. Especially if you're responsible for others, you would want them to feel safe with you. As a leader, you cannot avoid spending time and effort on paying attention to these factors. Some of the things I share with you will not be a surprise to you, and some might. Number 1, be reliable. Reliability is the cornerstone of trust. When people know they can count on you, whether it's keeping promises or following through on your word, it creates a deep sense of security and stability in the relationship. Consistency over time is a stronger predictor of trust than even emotional intensity. It's not about being perfect, it's about being dependable. So how can you show that you are reliable? Action steps would be: show up on time. It signals respect and responsibility. Follow through on your commitments, even the small ones. If something changes, communicate it early. Don't leave other people guessing. Create systems for yourself that help you be consistent over time, such as calendars, reminders, etc. Practice saying no gracefully. If you can't commit, being clear is more trustworthy than overpromising. Number 2, be honest. Honesty creates predictability and security. When you're truthful, people can rely on your word. That consistency forms the backbone of trust. Lying, even so-called white lies, can create cracks in your relationships. Once trust is broken, it's hard to get back. People have a deep longing for truth and consistency in their interpersonal connections. This explains also why dishonesty activates stress responses in the brain. Honesty also includes admitting mistakes. Owning your mistakes shows integrity and accountability. It tells others, I care more about our relationship than my ego. That kind of emotional maturity signals people safety and respect. Trying to cover up mistakes, on the other hand, creates doubt and tension. Transparency helps people believe in your intentions, even when you mess up. A sincere apology and a plan to do better can often increase trust, not decrease it. A practical tip how you can keep yourself accountable could be that you practice every week self-reflection, in which you ask yourself, what did you avoid or sugarcoat? Where could you be more truthful? And don't mistake truthfulness with blunt or rude directness. Number 3, be open. Openness invites others to be more vulnerable around you, and vulnerability deepens interpersonal connections. When you share your thoughts, emotions, and maybe even fears, you signal that you trust the person. which encourages them to trust you back. Brené Brown, a renowned researcher on vulnerability, says staying vulnerable is a risk we have to take if we want to experience connections. You might think, I understand how that is important in relationships, but how would that look like in a professional setting? It does not mean that you have to share your deepest personal fears in a work environment. However, this is where honesty and openness are connected. Being honest about problems you're facing as a team or within the company creates trust and shows openness. An example could be when your team is struggling with a deadline. Hey team, I want to share with you where we currently stand. We have had a few setbacks with the deadlines. I'm open to any suggestions how I can support you best in situations like these. Let's work together to figure out how to get back on track. Communicating something like this in the team as a leader could be one actionable step when you are in a difficult situation. Furthermore, you can share in meetings your own experience when others share their problems or the challenges they're facing at work. I struggled with that too. Here's what helped me. Be honest about obstacles. Invite input regularly. Be approachable. Create space for others to speak candidly without fear of judgment. Number 4, avoid gossip. If you talk behind someone else's back, others assume you do the same to them. Gossip breaks down psychological safety, a key ingredient of trust. When you steer clear of gossip and instead speak respectfully of others, even in conflict, it shows integrity and loyalty. Teams with low gossip and healthy communication perform better, trust each other more, and had stronger interpersonal bonds. Actionable steps would be: don't participate in negative talk about someone not present. Change the subject or redirect. If you hear gossip, you can respond with, let's bring that up directly with them. Or maybe we don't have the full story. Practice direct but kind communication if conflict arises. Address issues to people directly, not behind their back. Compliment people in public and offer constructive feedback in private. Model respectful speech. People will notice and follow your example. Number 5, recognize accomplishments or appreciate others. Appreciation makes people feel seen, valued, and respected. Core ingredients of trust. When you acknowledge someone's efforts, you're showing that you care about their contributions and not just the outcome. It also builds emotional equity in relationships. People are more likely to uplift those who uplift them, rather than ignore or take them for granted. Studies show that employees who feel recognized are more likely to trust their leaders, and relationships where appreciation is mutual indicate higher satisfaction and loyalty. Important to notice here is that recognition isn't just for the big wins, but also for the small ones. Actionable steps could be: say thank you regularly for big and small things. Sincere and specific praises go a long way. Call out positive behavior. You handled that conversation very well. Great job. Celebrate small wins in team settings. Let's appreciate the team for working so diligently on this project. Make recognition part of your culture, not just a one-time thing. All this leads us to a conclusion. These behaviors aren't just about being nice. They create an environment of emotional safety, respect, and mutual care. And that's the soil where trust grows. If you want to build deeper connections, start with trust. Maybe it helps you to rewatch these 5 tips and write down the action steps that you want to try out first. Then you pick one you want to apply this week. Keep in mind, trust isn't built overnight, but one step at a time. When you build it right, it can change your entire life. Because all of us need, in good and in hard times, a stable network we can fall back on. Thank you for watching, and remember, real connection starts with trust.